Okay, so once again, thanks for having me here. I'll shortly let you know about level 3 so that we complete that and then we can move to the topic of the day. And in that realm as well, I'll be welcoming all of your questions. So please feel free, as I've got just a general outline prepared. It's nothing that I need to stick to. Really, what I want is to be useful to you. I know that being in this journey might be challenging at times, so whatever I can do to support is in line with what I intended to do. So level 3 training has been introduced to offer a journey that would train for MCCs, to get the MCC. It is slightly different than level 1 and level 2 because by joining a level 3 training, you don't necessarily get, no, you don't get an MCC all in the package. You get the hours of training, you get the mentoring hours, and you are sure that you're getting a preparation that is moving you towards what the MCC requires in terms of competencies that show MCC level and the mentoring, all tailored to that. Whereas you could get the same number of hours with other types of training that do not necessarily put you in the way towards MCC, but it could be all sorts of training that are providing CCUs or that are approved, for that matters. It's not included the exam, so you'll have to submit 2 recordings anyways, and they will be assessed by someone that's external to who's providing the training. So they will be assessed by ICF assessors. And it excludes the CKA, or like the knowledge, the case study or assessment that you now do online or in certain centers that provide this service. But it is a specific training tailored to get MCC. It is 75 hours, a minimum of 75 hours, of which half of them are synchronous, like we are being right now, and half or the remainings are asynchronous. So it's self-studies, groups, other activities that these trainings design. So they're not all the same. They have different flavors. They need to undergo a pilot. And then once the pilot is over, you turn in all the certification, all the documentation on certification, and they would approve it to a level 3. I don't know if, please, if something wasn't clear, just let me know, ask questions, feel free to.
I felt like asking those who were talking about level 3 just before you arrive, like Erica, has it helped? Or Humberto, I think it's better, like regarding what is level 3.
Very, very clear for me, Camila. Thank you very much. Now I got it. I
No
didn't know
worries.
it existed. Now I know.
It's quite new. It's quite new. And in fact, there are not so many level 3 offered thus far, although I guess the industry is moving towards that because there's a increasing number of PCCs and there's a lot of interest towards MCC. It is the highest credential, so.
Exactly. You see, Camila, what happens is I am based in Madrid normally. I'm today in Bogota in Colombia, but
Okay.
I'm usually in Madrid. And in Europe or in Bogota, finding that training is it's not going to happen. So it's the US. So we just hope that it opens up to other places in the world.
Yeah. And I'm based in Italy, and I'll be in Madrid in a couple of weeks. So, and
There
I
you
lived
are.
in Madrid for a little while in the past. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Camila.
Absolutely.
I have another question, if you don't mind.
I don't.
You see, when Better Up reports to the ICF our coaching, do they report sessions or hours? I mean, like time, like minutes. What
Maybe-
does the ICF want? Do they want coaching sessions, 2,500, or do they want 2,500 hours?
Hours. I don't know what Better Up reports, honestly, but I
Okay.
guess that when you ask to, I don't know if it is the same for every company. They would, my company, I had my log, and the main company I worked for gave me hours, but that's what ICF is looking for, a number of hours. So
Yeah, Better Up
Okay.
also report hours, because
Okay.
when I was submitting mine, I asked, you just send an email to support, and they will send a document addressed to ICF saying, for the time you've been coaching with them, these are the number of hours that you've done. And it's not the same as the number of sessions.
Exactly, because you have 2,000 coaching sessions, 45 minutes each, it's actually 1,500 hours.
Yeah. So how about we actually allow Camila to just share what she had prepared for us today, and if more questions, we can take them after. Are we game
Yes.
for this? Yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
Camila,
that's fine.
yeah, so you
And
just take the floor and run with it as you want.
so I don't know what you know. Do you say anything about me? Do you want me to say a couple of words about myself as well? I don't know.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Italian, based in Bologna. I have been coaching for around 13 years now. I was in a different industry in international tax before, and then I moved to Australia. There, I did a coaching journey that changed my life, that was very impactful for me. And so I decided to train as a coach, and so I started coaching in 2011. I became PCC, I think, in 2016, and then in 2022, I got my MCC. So I primarily work with corporates, and I do also a lot of mentoring, supervision, and also training for coaches. I received the invitation to talk about how to get or prepare a passing recording for MCC. And I did reply to Judith saying, oh, I'll be more comfortable talking about how to prepare a session that you could be happy to send through for MCC. And I'm explaining why right away. Because there is no guarantee that the session that you're going to send is going to pass for MCC. And that's also the reply, or what I got from my mentor when I sent my session. She said, okay, these are good. However, I can't guarantee that whoever will assess you will pass you at the MCC level. So because there's not yet still, a very, how would you say, normalized and objective way, and every assessor gives a little bit of objectivity in their evaluation. And also we do not have markers. We do have the minimum skill requirements for MCC. We don't have the markers like for PCC, which are observable behaviors. So it's a little bit trickier to assess at MCC level than PCC. However, there are some guidelines or some ideas that I can share with you around how to get a good coaching session, considering that what we're aiming for is also a minimum MCC level. So technically, you don't need to be a super MCC to pass, but the idea is that you pass the MCC at the minimum MCC level. Of course, you can also send a super masterful coaching session. That's all what we aim for. But yet, I like to remember that we can ease a little bit and feel lighter on that aspect. Before, so the way I organize this is to give you a little bit of ideas around the quality of recording, quality of the client, quality of how you can prepare for the coaching session, and quality of the support that you could get to move towards MCC. Nevertheless, I would like to ask if there is any specific questions. What are you looking for from this conversation that would answer what is still open for you on this topic? If you would like to share, I can capture them now, and so I can weave the answers in my conversation today, if there's any question that you'd like to be addressed. And for sure, you can ask them afterwards as well.
Nothing from me, Camila. Please go ahead.
Okay.
For me.
Same with
Okay, thanks, Erika. Okay, so at any time, please feel free to stop me and ask for questions or clarification. So some things that I might say could be very, very simple. For instance, recording quality of the recording and the transcript. So of course, it is important that you get a good quality audio, that you're coaching in a quiet space that would help you concentrate as well, and that will also do not distract the client. Also, I would also at the beginning of the recording say that you are thanking the client for allowing to record for mentoring and credentialing purposes. That is good for ethics, and that is also good to, although you might have, you will have also the capturing the agreement in written, that would also give the idea that you have already talked about this, that you know what you're doing, that is a sort of an ongoing client, someone that you're having a relationship with. The transcript as well needs to be well readable. When I did it, I was advised to use different colors for client and coach. So the person that was reading it or was reviewing it could be going through it quite easily. That was well spaced. If you would like to note the silence, I did so when there were like long times where I was silent, or the client was silent while they were reflecting. I put it into brackets, the squared ones, and just anything that you feel might make it more readable. Of course, timestamps and all that sort of things. If you're coaching a coach, don't coach them on the coaching. So coach them on general other life or work topics. And some mentors told me that it is best if they don't, or, let's put it like that certain assessors would be more strict with the assessment if they knew that you are coaching a coach, because some assessors think that coaching a coach is easier than coaching a non-coach person. So suggestion could be, that this doesn't come out in the session that they are a coach. Okay, questions around this? Client's quality, and I put quality, I intend into, again, brackets. And it's a question for you. What kind of client can make it easier for you to fully express your coaching competence? So this is also partially a question that you might want to ask yourselves, apart from hearing what I can chip in. So the advice here is not to just get recordings here and there from people that you just met, but record sessions with the clients with which you have worked for a few sessions already, as the depth of the expression of the competencies is very important at the MCC level. And as you know them, and they could also be even older clients of yours, or clients that you found particularly enjoyable to work with, and the coaching journey has finished. And so you can ask them if they're happy to have other 3 sessions and allow you to record. Because you know them, you know what their learning style, you know their way of reasoning, the assumptions, the values, the beliefs, you know, and you might have, well, if you do the coaching journey as I do, you know, at the beginning you define what is it that they would like to get at the end of the whole journey. So you can expand and connect also the goal for the session to something bigger for them. So make it like broader, more meaningful, more motivating, like when you look into the meaning and this of the coaching result that they will, or outcome that they want to get. And expressing cumulative listening is easier. So you can listen cumulatively over the session, but also over more sessions, and you can observe what you've heard over the sessions in that specific recording.
Camila, I understand you have to submit two recordings. Can they be with the same person?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
That was my question too. Thank you for
Yeah.
asking. Thanks for answering it.
They need to be 2 different recordings, but they can be with the same person. Yeah. Then they would go to two different assessors anyways. Yeah.
If I may, you said something that caught my attention. I was writing it down. The depth of the expression of the competence. What's in that depth?
That is one of the things that we might want to explore in a level 3 trainings. What is it really the difference between listening at a PCC and listening at MCC level, or evoking awareness at PCC or MCC level, where, you know, at PCC level you express a skillful technical listening, but then there's a broader, wider, deeper way that you might listen at the MCC level. You're listening maybe for incongruences between things that have been said, or facial expressions, and I'm making broad examples here, could be anything, yeah, or posture and rhythm of voice. There is a way that you sense or listen for silences or things that haven't been said. So if you read the minimum 0 requirements, you will read this depth word many times. So, but without necessarily a clear explanation of what that depth means. So that's why we do not have observable behaviors, because you sort of to have an idea and sense what depth is. That's also why maybe an assessor could assess at different levels, because maybe if an assessor thinks, oh, depth is exploring feelings. If you don't explore feelings, that might rate you very badly, no? Whereas others for depth intend something different. So that's why not having something observable makes it a little bit difficult on both sides to know what to do and to assess what is heard. And that's also where the self-reflective work, the working with a mentor, the discussing of what this is helpful. And I would say that this depth comes in really with a lot of presence, with really being with the client, being attuned, being prepared, and I'll come to the preparation for the session in a moment, because this depth, for instance, at MCC level, you wouldn't express it in the same way with one client and with another client. It really emerges from what's being created in the space with that client.
Camila, these are audio recordings, right? Not video.
You send the audio.
Okay, and you can have one of those accepted and the other rejected, and then send the third one off. How does it work?
You can pass one and and not pass the second one, and you will be asked to resubmit the second one.
Okay.
Well, the one
Thanks.
that didn't pass. Yeah.
Is there a time limit on that if you resubmit? If you
How
have
much time? How much time you have to resubmit? I might not tell you the exact number of weeks, but it's quite a few weeks that you've got, quite a bit of time that you have to resubmit. I'll come back to you. I'll look it up for sure, and because one number comes to mind, but I don't want it to be mixing up two different things, and I prefer not to. Yes,
If I
maybe
may say something, for me, it was 6 months.
Yeah.
So when they send you the message that your recording did not pass, I will say you have 6 months till receiving this email to submit another recording as a replacement for the one that did not pass.
Thank you.
Plenty. So what about the more about the client? So a client that listens to you and that has a good ability of introspection, of reflective quality, versus being maybe an oral processor or someone that speaks a lot. So being concise, yet not too synthetic, and having this ability to elaborate. One important thing I would say is not to confuse the quality of your coaching and the expression of the coaching competency with the feedback of your client. So sometimes I hear a coach that's very happy because the client has given them a great feedback. However, when we listen to the recording, we sort of discover that not all the time, and sometimes the clients are happy because the coach has been great and showcasing coaching competencies, but sometimes because they got direction, they got advice, they got something from the coach, which is out of the coaching. Most probably your clients are not trained in assessing coaching competencies. So really ask a mentor and don't overlap the two. That would be something important to share around relationship with the client and what happens with the client. So of course, also the client that give you more energy, positive energy, are the ones that maybe you would like to engage in this. Preparation. So how do you need to prepare both in the physical realm and the mental space to be most present to the session? And maybe each and every one of you would have a different way of centering and coming into a space of presence. So for sure, recording in a quiet place or space when there are no distractions, it's fundamental. And also make quiet in your internal self to lower distractions is important. One other important thing to say, though, you do the centering and the meditation prior to the coaching. You do not invite the client to center with you meditating or doing something like that, anything that because that's leading. So you are telling the client what to do. So perfect centering, perfect meditation, perfect going for a walk, perfect contemplating some beautiful statue or anything that makes you come back to yourself. Do not assume that the client needs or wants to go back to themselves unless they ask for it in some way during the session. Also consider the moment of the day, the moment of the week that might be more energetic or have more of you. Another thing that you can think of, maybe prepare before meeting the client, bring the client to your attention, think about who the person is, because when you go through the session, it is really important that you focus on the person in a sort of a global, holistic way and not on the result. So at MCC level, we're not, hopefully also at PCC, not just looking for solutions or going straight to the result, but really exploring what's emerging and exploring the who of the client in the session. And anyways, the result needs to be addressed because, that's an important element of the coaching session. Be prepared and prepare yourself to be a learner of the client. So if you go through the MCC minimum skill requirement, that is one, they say it's written there that the hallmark evidence, so I'm saying with my own words, it might be written differently, but this is the concept of MCC level, is that the coach places themselves as the learner of the client. We are learning about who this person is. We're learning about their systems. We're learning about the mechanisms, the way they think, the preferred channel. Are they more cognitive, or more emotional, more instinctual? How do they like to learn? So really being curious of what the client brings, and not when you start thinking, oh, I might know. That's where you need to take a step back and say, no, let's hold on. Let's check in and what is that they are specifically saying. Quality of support. So engage with a qualified mentor, coach, and supervisor to get feedback on your coaching. That is crucial and extremely important. Some of us in their mentoring process have had experiences of having to unlearn something, others experiences to have to reinforce other things, others both. It is important that, the more hours we do and we practice, the more we are moving forward and not repeating more and more of where we are at that time. Because if we do, 2,500 hours at PCC level, that doesn't necessarily bring us to MCC. It just brings us to a stronger PCC in a way. That's why, self-reflection on the sessions, just after the session, watching the recordings of ourselves, working with a mentor, with a supervisor is really crucial. Also getting knowledgeable about these minimum skill requirements for MCC. It's, I would say, is really important. And also knowing that it's a mindset shift, probably passing from from PCC to MCC. There is not necessarily a recipe, and that's aligned with what I told you before, because it's when you apply something, on a specific question or a specific way of doing, you're not really letting the coaching emerge from your experience with the client. And so that's one of our points also in the level 3 training, is that we are offering frames for seeing and observing things. We are not offering models, because the one you go in with the model, you're already away from the client. But it's useful to know what to look for, where to look, and anyways, what you can offer back to the client, but as a way of, you inquiring about where am I now? How do I coach the person best? Okay, so I've gone pretty quickly knowing that we didn't have so much time, but I think I said more or less what I intended to say. I don't know if what I said made more questions arise. I'm here on this content or in general. Please feel free to ask whatever comes for you.
No, I actually loved your comment about stop coaching at PCC level and start coaching at MCC level. So it made me worry, but anyway, okay, I'll work on that. Or a little bit.
And it's a journey of a lifetime, isn't it? Because even if I got my MCC, there's always way to go. So I'm always looking for what is a best expression of a competence.
I want to admit that listening, thank you very much for you brought in a lot of nice concepts, and I'm sorry if the word I'll use to call them, I feel like some of these concepts, I don't want to say exoteric, but they're just, you don't know what they mean. When you say, for example, it's a mindset shift, yes, from what to what? MCC level is the holistic client. Yeah, it's a big word, holistic. What does that mean? It's not just the result. Or let the coaching emerge from the space between the coach and the... These are nice things. You read them in the book, but concretely, what does that mean? Or at MCC level, the coach is the learner. How is he learning? Okay, in the session while you're coaching, you're learning and observing. And what do you do with those observations? So I felt like, okay, I see this vocabulary, but concretely, how do I apply in the session, not in between? So if there were, how would you say is the best way for someone preparing for that MCC to turn these very good sentences in something practical he can do or be action while he's coaching?
Yes, it's an amazing, and you're super attentive and punctual, and it is an amazing question. And that is exactly, my answer might not be very helpful, but this is exactly the journey. The same thing I was talking about depth. It is how we understand and how we integrate these concepts into our coaching, and what it is important to focus on in that MCC journey. And in the reflections that you do as you're learning about this competence with probably also a group of people that as well say, oh, I see this, I'm thinking that, and talking about this, that creates that space to build. So, and and it takes time. That's why it takes, even the level 3 is like 3, 4, 5 months, because in our case, like 3 and 4 months, let's say, because you need to marinate and feel these questions. So being a learner and how you, being a learner is this person a person that has a specific way of structure of reasoning. How do they make decisions? And you listen to the various steps in which they make a specific decision and you offer it back to them. Or you've learned it and then it comes with a topic of having to make a decision. And of course, you don't assume that is the same way that he said 2 sessions before, but you've heard that and you have an idea. If it's a person that, if you ask them, does it make sense, that it connects? But if you ask them, how do you feel, that is displacing this person. because they act on which level and how they, how do they make sense of things. And is it in that moment that's more useful to challenge them on another level, to make them see things on a different level? Or is it better to support them where they are, to grow the trust? And it depends, okay, on what their your space and relationship is. So always, when something comes up, never say, "Oh, I know that." Say, "Oh, what does he intend by that?" Always learning. In that sense, we are a learner of the client on every aspect.
And this is what is disturbing me, because, oh, what does he mean by that? I'm in my head trying to figure out, not listening to them in the moment. Because I thought, like, when they say presence.
No, you ask. No, you ask what they mean.
Okay, I'm not thinking.
That's what you ask.
Okay. Because I thought, okay, in this
Yes,
process
yes,
where
yes.
I'm learning the client, or what he see, I'll be distracted. I'll not be focused on what he's saying now, what I'm seeing, what I'm sensing. If I'm trying to interpret what he could be thinking, how he's behaving at one level. Okay.
Yeah, no interpretation, asking, and possibly, and we can't always be present 100%, but possibly, they finish talking and then you formulate in your head the question and then you ask them. So that allows you to be more present. So holistic means that you have to look at the client in his totality, not just about the topic or the issue. You have a broader view on the client and see, well, I don't know, might they be about them, about the systems the client's is in, about what's under the surface that the client is not telling, but where. Mindset shift from PCC to MCC, and I'm giving you very short answers, but the mindset is from knowing that you have a technique and a process to apply to embracing the unknown. That's one example of a mindset shift. Don't go through the PCC marker saying, "Oh, I got it," but I'm here with you. I know what the process is like. I know that I need to get to an outcome, and it unfolds. Not knowing. Emerge, that was the last question, is similar. No, I'm not going for a process. I am seeing what's coming up, and from what emerges, then the next question comes. Having in mind where I'm going towards, process-wise, but not having an idea of how I get there, just listening to the client and what's most relevant at the moment. That's what I mean by emerging in the moment.
Thank you very much. I'm seeing a couple of folks have left us. I guess time is coming to an end soon. As we said at the beginning, if more questions, just feel free to type them. We will collect them and send them to Camila. And they agreed to help answer our questions. So please don't go with your question. You see, I threw mine here. I have more that I will type and send them. Camila, will you want to take like a couple minutes just to share about the offer, to go deeper that you're offering with your Witopia?
Yes, so, and by all means, I'm happy to come back and talk about this more. So absolutely no problem. And I can also have an open session with just Q&A. So do I need to share a slide, or oops, see, I'm not good at this. I wasn't prepared, needing to show. But super quickly, we are starting a level 3 training if you're interested at the beginning of April, on April 3rd. It's not at the ideal time for US because it's at 8:30 a.m. European time. But you know, we are always offering different ones, and if there's enough interest, we can go for also a different time frame. The rate we would offer it for Better Up is 4,500, the whole program. And apart from the level 3, in the terms that I told you a little bit before, we're also offering mentor coaching and supervision. In particular, we go in packages of 5 for the one-on-one at a rate of 1,400. So this is our container, more or less. I think that would be it. And again, if you have, there's also, we have a website that we might look to revamp, but I'll put it in the chat here. It's Becoming a Masterful Coach. And you can take a look.
Thank you very much. When I will send a recording on the Mighty Network, I will add the little poster that you gave. That gives the information. So if you have like how people go to sign up for the program, just add it. Either you add it on the slide or you just give a text. So I'll add it in the post that I'll create when sharing the recording of the session today.
Okay.
Thank you, Kim, Miljoy, Camila. Oh, she's already gone. Yeah, there were issues with time, but I'm glad we could make it. And as you could see, as you could see, Camila, there were questions. So definitely when the process will be oily, we'll have even more people. And I'm so grateful that you came, that you guys accepted, and that you're willing to continue to support us as we prepare.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think that the community is a big part in moving towards MCC. I'll say the last thing, because our aim, me and Sophia had a very seamless journey towards MCC in a way, because we signed them and we got, you know, the MCC right away. And there's challenges in the process, but what we're looking for is to make this process as seamless as possible. And I think community and doing it with others is a big value added value, whatever it is.
So thank you very much. I think we'll chat some more offline. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the patience, and we will share the recording and the resources and link that Camila shared, and it will be a pleasure to meet you for the next month call with another interesting topic and another experiential person to lead us into how to prepare. It was a joy having you here. Wish you all the best for the rest of your day.
Same for you. Same for you, and thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.